So now here on number 2, is everybody okay there with number 1? Does that make sense? We had 2 inequalities. So we had 2 slack variables, S1 and S2. So now on problem number 2, it's saying, okay, determine the number of slack variables and name them. Then use the slack variables to convert to a linear equation. So look over here. How many less than statements do we have? 3. We don't care about that part at the bottom. That's always there. Greater than 0, whatever. That just means it can't be negative. So that's always going to be there. We ignore it. So we have 3. So we need 3 slack variables. S1, S2, S3. Okay, and how do you do the first equation? Well, the first equation, you just add the S1. See, that's the first equation with S1 added in. Okay, what's the second equation? Well, S2. It's the second equation with S2. I mean, these are silly questions, huh? What's the third equation? Well, it's the third equation, 7x1. So here's the third. I think it's off the screen. The third is 7x1 plus x2 plus S3 equals 341. So I just took the third one, and I put in the third slack variable, and it made it equal. Remember, you're always making it equal by bringing up the slack. Good. We good there? All right. Okay, now they're just kind of raising the bar slowly. So now they're going to say, all right, here you go. Here's your 2 inequalities. We want you to put in your slack variables and then make the whole thing into a big matrix. Let me show you how that works. So you start with the first one. This will be easy. You'll get used to it. It'll be the same thing every time. This section will be way easier than the last section. Okay, good so far. And then put the numbers on the right side. The 20 and the 20. They're both 20, huh? And we're gonna change it to equals, aren't we? So I'll just put in equals right now. Good so far? So I just basically wrote those 2 equations with equals and left a bunch of space to the right. Leave a bunch of space. In fact, I probably didn't leave enough. Let me do it just a little bit more. You need 3 columns. I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. So here we go. Oops. So, all right. So what do we do? Well, the first one we put in slack variable 1. Right? And the second equation we put in slack variable 2. Slack 2 has to be in his own column, spaced over. You see what I mean? See how this is all x1, this column's all x2, this column will be all slack 1, this column will all be slack 2. Each letter has to have their own vertical column. You can't put them on top of each other. They got to have their own space. See what I mean? See how this whole first column is going to be x1, this is all going to be x2, this is all s1, this is all s2. See what I'm saying there? That's how we line them up when we turn it into a matrix in a minute. Okay, now we have one more. This is the new part now that I haven't told you about yet. That's same so far, huh? Here comes the new part. You take the thing you're going to maximize. Oops, what did I just do there? Okay, there's the thing I'm going to maximize, right? If I want that z equals 4x1 plus x2, if I want it to look like this guy and look like that guy, I want them all to look alike, then I'm going to have to jump the 4x1 and the x2 to the left side. Why? Because these have x1 and x2 on the left side. And I've got x1 and x2 on the left side, don't I? Not the right side. So what happens when I jump that 4x1 to the other side? What happens when you move something to the other side? It becomes negative, huh? So that'll become negative 4x1, negative x2. Can you read that? I'm kind of writing on top of the other stuff. Negative 4x1 minus x2. See why they're negative? Because I jumped them to the left. Here's the equal sign. Now, so what are you going to get? You're going to get negative 4x1 minus x2 plus z equals 0. You agree with me? The z's still over there with them. Everybody see what happened? I'm just going to jump everything to the left. So negative 4x1, negative 2, and then the z is just sitting where he was. plus equals 0, right? But when I put the z down, he's going to have to be right here having his own column, and there's the 0. Because z has to be his own separate. Every letter has to have their own column. So z has to be in his own column. There's the third equation. That's what we turn into a matrix now, which is called a simplex tableau. So that's what we turn into our matrix. So now I just go back and go, okay, here we go. Make this thing a big old matrix. 5, 2, minus 4. Right, I just went 5, 2, minus 4. Tracking with me? And then 4, 1, negative 1. 4, 1, negative 1. Tracking. 1, 0, 0. Right, because there's nothing in those spots. 0, 1, 0. And 0, 0, 1. And the right side, 20, 20, 0. 20, 20, 0. And we put a line, and there we go. Oh, and we also put a line like this. I'll explain why later. We box off the bottom row and the right column, like that. See how that's what this answer here is? That's the simplex. Now basically, we're going to type that into our calculator and say, go calculator, and it's just going to give us the answer to the whole thing. No graphing, no finding intersection points. I'm just going to type it in a minute here, and it's going to crank it out. But I got to give you the program to do it. It's not already on your calculator. You need a special program, the simplex program. But that's what so that's how we're going to do these. We're going to basically take the same problems we used to solve with graphing, and we're going to put in the slack variables and take the third one and move the x1 and x2 over, type it up as a matrix. We're going to put this in matrix A in our calculator, and then we're going to go to that program, and I say, program, simplex, make it happen. It'll go out and grab matrix A and give you the answer, is what it'll do. That's how it's going to work. Good on the setup? So all we got to do is know how to set them up. Now they're saying, okay, here's a tableau. It's already kind of going backwards now. We've already got the tableau. And they're saying, hey, what are the... Oh, I need to tell you about basic variables and non-basic variables. Yeah, so basically, when you solve a simplex tableau and take calculator and it cranks out the answer, you got to be able to read the answer. So let me explain to you what that means. Basic variables... a basic variable has all zeros and a 1 vertically. Going down. How about that? Going down. All zeros and a 1 going down. So look with me for a second at that tableau. X1. Go down. Does he have all zeros and a 1? No. Not even close. 4, 2, 5. He's not a basic variable. Who cares? I'll explain in a minute, but let's just first off get used to it. How about X2? Is he a basic variable? Does he have all zeros and a 1? No. No way. How about X3? Does he have all zeros and a 1? No. Nope, he's not either. How about S1? Has he got all zeros and a 1? Yes. So he's basic. How about S2? Is he all zeros and a 1? Yes. He's what we call basic. How about Z? Is he all zeros? Yes. So for this particular problem, it's going to change from problem to problem. In this particular problem, S1, S2, and Z are all basic, aren't they? They're all basic. Which means what? Their answer is to the right. Well, I didn't write that very clearly. Their answer is on the right side, across from the 1, from their 1. How about that? From their 1. So in other words, let me go back and show you what I'm talking about. This is why we care. If you're looking at S, start with this one. S1 has all zeros and a 1. So he's basic. So what? Well, that means over here on the right side is going to be his answer. Where? How do you know? You find his 1, which just happens to be in the middle, and you go all the way to the right. 19. S1 is 19. That's how you read the answer. For a basic variable, that's all zeros and a 1, you find his 1 and shoot to the right. That'll be the answer for that letter. Now, I know this is like magic, isn't it? Like, why? Not going to tell you. I mean, come by my office hours. I'd be glad to. I used to make students, back in the olden days when I was young and mean, I used to make people do the Simplex. I've done it. I don't even remember now, to tell you the truth. I'd have to read some old books and refresh my memory. But I've done them all the way. They're horrible. They're big old matrices, and you move the numbers around, and you do all that stuff. Now we have computers and calculators. This is what technology is for. It's for moving numbers, in my opinion. It was very tedious. If you add one time wrong, the whole thing's wrong. You know, I remember I took a test when I was at Cal Poly. I remember I took linear algebra, which was a bunch of matrices. And I remember the teacher had on one question, we had this big matrix, like 4 by 6, big matrix like these, and we were supposed to do stuff with them. I can't remember what now, but I made a mistake. Like, I added one entry wrong on part A, just one of the whole. I added or subtracted wrong. But then part B used the answer from part A, and then part C used it from B. So all mine were technically off just a little bit, even though I did B and C perfect. I remember my teacher went, shoo, 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 30 points off. I went up after and said, really? I just added this one? He went, yeah, that's wrong. They're all 3 wrong. Woo! They took no prisoners on that one. So anyway, see how nice I am? Now I'm just telling you what a nice teacher I am now. Anyway, but I'm going to use that time to give you some calculus at the end. So I'm giving you as much math as I can. I just would rather give you that than moving numbers around. All right, I'm buying time at the end. All right, so anyway, so let's find S2. So S2. Can you tell me the answer for S2? Find his 1. Shoot off to the right, 28. See that? See what I'm doing? How about Z?
18.
So find Z is a basic variable. All zeros and 1. Find his 1. Shoot off to the right. Yeah. Z. By the way, Z will always be the lower right-hand corner every time. Okay. Now what about the other letters? The other ones are all 0 because they're not basic variables, right? So these are the basic variables. The other ones, the non-basic, are all 0. So which is what? Which would be x1. See, x1 is 0. I don't know why I put double 0. That was just a mistake. x2 is 0 and x3 is 0. Those are the non-basic. x1 is 0, x2 is 0, x3 is 0. Because they're not basic, meaning they're not all zeros and a 1. They're other stuff. So they're just 0. Again, why? Who knows? It's a long story. Be glad to go over with you, but we're supposed to do the introduction to calculus at the end of this course. And I always run out of time, so I'm going to just say, hit the button so we have time at the end. Calculus is more interesting. You want to see that, right? More than you want to move numbers around? Maybe? No? Yeah.
What is the answer on there?
What's that?
For A, like, how do they put it into Excel?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So what are the basic variables? S1, S2, and Z. This is Z here. S1, S2, and Z are basic. Yeah, you just have to do subscript. You have to go down low. There's a button that does that. What are the non-basic? X1, X2, X3. And there's all the answers I just told you about. Oh, and one more question. I'll show you. I'll actually type it in for you in a minute, if that's confusing. One last question I need to tell you about. They say, hey, is this a maximum? You need to know, like, when the thing's done. How do you know when the computer's done? Well, it'll tell you. It'll say on your screen, done, this is it. But I'll also let you know. It's all about the bottom row right here. That's why we mark off the bottom row. If the bottom row is all has, well, let's say, if the bottom row has no negatives, then that's your max. So ours is yes, because see the bottom row, there's no negatives anymore. That means you're done. Why? Who knows? It's all a mystery. But that's how it works. So if the bottom row, if there was any negative numbers in that bottom row, I would say, no, this is not our maximum answer. This isn't the best answer. Remember, we're trying to find maximum profit or minimum cost like we were doing in the last section. So there we go. Yeah, so to type these in, you just use the subscript button. There's a low down button to type that in. So there's a little box with a little box down there like that. So that's how you do the S sub 1 and the S sub 2 and the Z with the little subscript button when you type in A or B like that. Good on that one? Okay, so look at this thing here with me. So see how, let's just go through it. Let's look at x1. Is x1 a basic variable? Is it all zeros and a 1? No, so that just means he's 0. He's 0. You see why? Any vertical, anything going down that's not all zeros and a 1 is just gone. How about x2? Is he all zeros and a 1? Yeah. So he's not going to be 0. Where's his answer? Take where the 1 is and shoot all the way to the right. 22. x2 is 22. See how I'm doing that? If it's all zeros and a 1, then you find the 1 and shoot to the right. If it's anything else other than all zeros and 1, then the answer is just 0 for that letter. All right, let's keep going. How about x3? He's all zeros and a 1. He's basic. So then take the 1 and shoot to the right. 18. 18. How about S1? S1, he's just 0. He's not all zeros and a 1. S2, he's just 0. S3? So shoot over, 27. And Z is always 24. Always the lower right corner for Z. That'll never change. The other ones will move around, but Z won't. All right. Okay, solve the linear programming problem using the Simplex method. So let's begin with setting it up. Can we do that? Can you take this first equation? Let's set up the whole, so they're giving us a question. Let's set it up. So let me do that with you. So 5x1 plus x2, and what am I supposed to bring into the first equation? Slack 1 plus slack 1. I'll do the right side in a minute. Let's do the second one. 7, this is a 5 here. 7x1 plus 2x2, and then what do I bring into the second equation? Slack 2. Remember his own column, you space them over. They each have to have their own column. Third equation, x1 plus x2, and then what do I bring in? Slack 3. Now this, we don't care about that. That's just saying that they're greater than 0. They're not negative. Who cares? Most things in real life can't be negative. Can't have a negative amount of pencils or, you know. All right, so slack 1, slack 2, slack 3. Now that's all. And you got to put on the right side over here, whatever those numbers were. What were they? 50, 70, 60. Those are still there. Now we have one more that goes on the very bottom. What goes on the very bottom? Yeah, the Z. Remember how we do the Z? We take the Z, and what do? We jump these guys to the left, so what do they end up becoming? Negative, because we have to have x1 and x2 on the left. So it becomes negative 2x1, negative 7x2, plus Z has his own column, always equal to 0. Is that good? See how we set that up? As a now turn that all into one big old matrix. Here we go. 5, 7, 1, negative 2. Next one. 1, 2, 1, negative 7. 1, 2, 1, negative 7. Next one. 1, 0, 0, 0. And 0, 1, 0, 0. And 0, 0, 1, 0. And 0, 0, 0, 1, and 50, 70, 60, 0. There we go. There's the Simplex tableau. Now you just need the program on your calculator. So I'm going to give you that. Ooh, I'm going to probably run out of time giving you that program. So how about this? While I'm walking around infecting your calculators, can you put that into matrix A? So go to matrix A and put that, it's a 4 by 7 matrix. Put that into matrix A. Remember how we put in matrices? Have we done that before? So put that into matrix A. I'm going to come around and I'm going to infect your calculator with the right program so you can do these things. Well, we're going to start over here on the left side with you. Let me see. So I'm going to connect our calculators. It's been a year since I've done this. I can figure it out here. This one. Yeah, seems to connect. And this one. Straight part is on here. That one. Okay. All right. I think we said both up and yours is getting ready to receive. So, let me see here. It is. Link, receive, okay. Link, send, program. Select it and transmit it. Ooh, it's got it. Yours says it's done and it's got it. All right. Oh, they.
On the side.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is, okay. So, quit, link, receive, enter, okay, link, program, transmit, done. All right, there you should have it. So if I've given it to you, just quit. Or yeah, just quit, yeah. And so once you've got it, you should be able to just hit the program button, and run that program, and it'll do it for you. Link, receive, link, send, transmit. Done. Got it? Yeah, I'll explain in a minute. So all you gotta do, if you have it, you just have to hit the program button, and it'll run the program. It knows where to look for the matrix. Receive. Program, go. Done. Got it. Done. It's just like Planet of the Apes, I'm infecting you all. Uh-oh, got an old one here.
Yeah.
I think I've got I left mine in wires in there.
I broke my TI-83 or TI-84.
Okay, here, let me come back to you. I've got another wire, but it'll slow me down to switch wires. But I think I've got a wire to meet your need. Oh, yeah, that one. So I can't do a program for that one. So remember I said that a couple weeks ago? I said if you all have a fancier one, you should go get one from Miss Curtis. You know, try to get one, or the library, to get a TI-84. You know, they have it for free. I think she still might have some. You want to hang out after class? I can show you where her office is and where they will be. Okay, so let me try this one. So, second link, receive, link, 3 times make, boom, done. That's it. Hey, quick and painless. Take it you? I did. Oh, no, I did. All right. So do y'all know what I mean about getting it to work? Getting an answer? Second, we're doing second link, receive, second link, change, and yours.
These 2 chapters are like I got spring fever before spring fever. She never taught me that last semester. She just like explains everything. Yeah, she learned.
Okay.
It's nerve-wracking. I just hope
Battery start? Oh, okay, guys, oh, did you grab this from your parents or whatever?
No, this was actually my brother's.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Yeah,
All right, Alan, and you had the other wire. How are we doing on time? We're getting close. So let me do the other wire. All right, so how'd we do? So basically, if you put this into your matrix A, and then so for all you that have it, put that into matrix A, that you just quit, come out of that mode, and then just hit the program button, hit program. You'll see the Simplex program, hit enter, and enter again. And it'll say final matrix, which means that's the answer to the question. And so the final matrix you should get is what I'm getting when I just did it. Is it goes 1, 3, 7, 3 minus 2, 22, 1, 1, 7, 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 8, 0, 1, and I have to go to the right. It kind of goes off my screen. You guys getting that? 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 59, 50, 472. Put those lines in yourself. Now you have to put back to read that answer to know what that answer is really saying. You have to go back and put the letters in. What were the letters? Let's go back. Remember, it was X1, X2, and then S1, S2, S3. So this is X1, X2, S1, S2, S3. Wait a minute, is that right? And then Z. Wait, did I do too many? I am so confused. Oh, I had, that is not the right answer at all, is it? I don't even have the matrix put in my thing. That's some old matrix, whatever was in my thing. Sorry, you guys are thinking, mine's not working at all. I don't know what you guys are doing wrong, but it's just all wrong. So 4 by 7, that what it is? Let me put it and give you the answer and we'll be done. So 5, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 50, 7, 2, 0, 1, 0, 0, 70. I'm just putting it in right now. 60. Uh-oh, I did a bad thing. I went too quick. 7, 2, 0, 1, 0, 0, 70. And 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 60. And minus 2, minus 7. 0, 0, 1, 0. Second quit. All right, so now program, matrix, program, simplex, blah, blah, blah. Here's the real answer. So final matrix, I got 3 halves. Is that what you're getting? 7 halves, minus 5 halves, 45 halves, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, minus a half, 1 half, minus a half, 7 halves, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 15, 35, 25, 245. And that's x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, z, right? Yeah. So there it is. So how do you read off the final answers? X1 must be 0, because he's not all zeros in one. X2, go across 35, huh? S1, go across 15. S2 must be 0, because he's not all zeros in one. S3, go across 25. And Z is 245. There's the answer. Is that working? No? I can do. All right. So we're out of time. We're going to have to finish it. We didn't quite finish. So this will be due later. We'll address. So there's no homework for the break, I guess. Oh, I'll extend 7.3. That's what I'll do. I'll extend 7.3. If you want to work on 7.3 on that, so you can, if you didn't fix that. So that's all that's due is 7.3. We didn't quite finish this. We'll